So we all know that there are lots of fun and interesting things to look at and to do online. But we also know there's an equal amount of awful, rather unfortunate things. And these sort of things fall under the category of inappropriate content. So what is that exactly? So inappropriate content is things that you see or make online, as well as things that are sent by or sent to you. Now, most of the time, this is images or texts that relate to one of the following topics. Violence, especially gratuitous violence, explicit adult images, illegal drug use, or anything that relates to hate speech. It can also be statements that are false or damaging to another person. And finally, it can be sharing or posting others' personal information or their intellectual property without consent. Now, as we get older, we really have to learn to police ourselves and take responsibility for the kind of content that we seek out online. So it's always important to keep that in mind as you browse.
Being online is a great way to share information and connect with friends. But it's important to remember that the things we post online can affect people in the real world. Before you post anything online, ask yourself a few questions. How would you feel if your family, your teachers, your coaches, or your neighbors found it? Even if you turn on privacy settings, it's impossible to completely control who sees what you post, or when. Do you want a message or photo you posted to show up years from now when you apply for college or a job? Once you post information online, you can't take it back. Even if you delete it, it can still live somewhere else. While a video or picture may be funny to you, it may be embarrassing or hurtful for someone else. Being online is part of your life, so stop and think before you click.
So a big part of the inappropriate content section is content that you create, and that includes sharing that content with care. So probably the most important thing you can remember when you're going to share something online is that things that you post online are like zombies. They never die. Every day people lose jobs, miss out on job opportunities, cause problems for themselves at school, or even have problems with the law because they were not smart and careful about what they shared online. So in the past, so for example, your parents or your grandparents, their mistakes and the problems that they had when they were young, there's very little evidence of that, and it's something that can fade with time that they could learn from. Now, with the internet, mistakes don't go away. They linger, they bother you, they come up over and over again. And even when you delete something, so for example, you're going for a job interview, or applying to colleges, so you take some time to clean up your Facebook or your Twitter, maybe get rid of some things that don't look too great. Those things aren't gone. Companies keep a copy of everything. And Google caches all content that it comes in contact with. Twitter, everything that you tweet goes directly into a database with the Library of Congress, where it is saved forever, even when you delete it from your own timeline. Your privacy settings are another example. Your privacy absolutely cannot be guaranteed once you publish something. Facebook and other services have had constant problems managing privacy. So for example, you share a status update, you block it from certain groups of people or block it from certain individuals. It's not too hard for them to create another profile or log in with someone else's profile to see the information that you blocked from them. Now, sometimes the information that you're publishing isn't entirely yours. Things like gossiping or passing along messages or images that are of someone else, especially ones that might hurt their feelings or be damaging to their reputation, really makes you a part of this sharing with care problem. So being a part of the rumor mill, being a part of the group that's passing along this damaging information makes you a part of the problem. So that's something that you'll definitely want to avoid. So concerning sharing information online, one of the realities of entering the job market, whether after high school or after college or after trade school, is that when you apply for a job, your employers are going to check out your social media content. As we can see in This particular survey, during the hiring process, 76% of employers checked their prospective employees' Facebooks, 53% checked Twitter, and only 48% checked LinkedIn. Now, that might seem weird because LinkedIn is created for that sort of thing, but it's because employers know that on LinkedIn, a professional type of website, people tend to keep content very low key and very plain. Whereas on Facebook, we give a little more of ourselves. We reflect a little bit more on the things we like, the things we don't like, the things that we do, and can sometimes be reflective of our realistic behavior. And more importantly, we see that the degree of this it's huge. It's overwhelming. 91% of employers use social networks to screen their applicants during the hiring process. So the likelihood that your accounts are being checked whenever you apply to a job is overwhelming. Now, as to when employers are checking this information, most of them, just a little bit less than half, are checking it before they even talk to you. So this might be your actual first impression on the person who makes the decision on whether or not to hire you. 47% check your social networks after receiving your application, but before ever having a conversation with you. Another aspect, probably less important, some would say minor, about sharing with care is kind of keeping the clutter off your wall. And if you have any friends that seem to post everything, you probably know what I'm talking about. So you can start by turning off auto sharing features. So things like Netflix, Pandora, or Spotify can sometimes auto post when you're listening to or watching something. Or a lot of the games that are associated with Facebook seem to post updates every couple of minutes or send invitations to your friends. And sometimes, especially if you're the one receiving them, it can get a bit annoying. When it comes to privacy, one thing to watch out for is signing in to websites with your social media credentials. So a lot of websites want you to create an account, and rather than, filling out all your information, they offer a button to just click sign in with Facebook. Now, when you do that, they make an effort to disclose what exactly that website can access. But how often do we really read that? So sometimes you'll go ahead and sign in with your Facebook, and it gives the website way more access than they would need to your information than they would actually need to provide their services. Also, it sometimes gives them permission to post to your personal accounts with your name on their own behalf, such as with advertisements for their product.